This is a movie that I've been wanting to. That I actually decided about reviewing today after seeing this guy review seeing Ryan Jacob review T2, starring Edward Furlong. And this is a movie starring him. It's my favorite movie from him, and also from the main star. American History X is directed by Tony Kaye, written by David McKenna, starring Edward Norton and Edward Furlong. Yeah, and of course you guys all know it. It's about this. It's about one day like Danny Vineyard, like Edward Furlong's character Danny Vineyard, like he writes a school paper on Hitler's. Shit. Hold on. He writes a paper that involves that has Nazism in it, and of course like he lives this neo-Nazi lifestyle because of his brother Derek. And actually, he's called in the principal's office, and the principal actually gives him an assignment. He calls it American History, and based on the title, his own assignment. He calls it American History X. And like he tells him, oh yeah, okay, his history teacher actually tells him Drew. So his assignment, he finds it on Mein Kampf, which is, yeah. So the principal decided to do his own class project called American History X. Writing it based on, he said he's supposed to write a paper about his brother Derek. And of course, shit happened. And of course, you guys know some things about it. And this movie, how it's actually told, it's told in a non-linear narrative. And I do like seeing stuff like that. I mean, Quentin Tarantino popularized it with, I never saw Reservoir Dogs, but I know about that. And Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think they also did something like that with 500 Days of Summer. And I don't see it a lot much anymore, but I do like to see stuff like that. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it has my favorite performance from Edward Norton. I'm gonna get to that later. This film is about This film is very unique in its storytelling, like how it tells a non-linear narrative. Events that take place before the present events in the first, when Danny is Danny's trying to write his paper. Actually, his brother's released from prison because he spent 3 years after manslaughter. And actually, when they go back to the events leading up to Derek before he went to prison, they do it in black and white for the ones before prison, whenever he was being a neo-Nazi leader and just causing mayhem, being all about the racism and shit. And of course, they even present events. And events set after Derek is released from prison, that's in regular color. And it's very disturbing. And let me tell you, this is one hell of a film that could be kind of hard to watch, but also is very interesting and very. It's just it was a little bit of an experience for me actually. It's not much of an experience, but something about it really amazing. And most of it came from the performances. Edward Furlong, you all know him from T2, but I think it's my favorite performance from him. I mean, really, because he plays a character who's more grounded. His character, T2, I thought he did a good job. He played a kid who was inexperienced, but also tried to help. Also was kind of like a father for the T-800, and taught him to be kind of cool and hip, but also told him not to really kill people. Just maybe almost tease them with bullets, just cause harm and maybe a few explosions, but just not really kill anybody, just injure them. I gotta give that guy credit for it. One thing I like about that is just really cool. Another thing I like is, with this character, he's very I really buy him as a guy who's just going through this dark path for his brother did. And actually, the interesting thing, when Derek is released from prison and he returns home, he is completely changed. He's no longer in that neo-Nazi path. He's trying to prevent his brother from doing the same thing. He's a good character, and he's become a more positive, more sympathetic person, and he's more understanding of what he did. Understanding of what he did, it was truly awful. Now, he was part of this neo-Nazi group. He was always obsessed with all the crazy racism in his neighborhood. There was a lot more black people moving into his neighborhood. It just became more problems. It caused racist problems, and then of course it even led to them terrorizing the community, especially like these establishments where black people worked at or that were owned by black people. I'm not being racist, but this one may offend some people. And of course, how they show it, like how they present it, like these people just cause mayhem. Like one time in a grocery store, and they even shoot propaganda. They're just crazy with all the harms, harming people, destroying property. It's just shocking. And there's you can see this old interview from Derek when he's younger. It's pretty shocking. There's also a dinner table scene, and my God, with him, and actually you see the guy who played Ross's dad from Friends. Let's just point that out. And there's a dinner table scene which leads to horrible confrontation. You really see it, but also what gets him in prison. Him, a black guy who is attacking his family, shooting at his family, and he goes out there and he just goes crazy and killing him. And I tell you, holy shit, that just proves how brutal he is. And of course, Danny's seeing that, it's truly one hell. Talk about traumatizing. Even if he was only not even that, even though he wasn't that, even though he wasn't too old, he was a bit older than he made, not a young kid or anything. He was I think a preteen or something when that happened. But seriously, seeing something like that, even whatever age, it's still pretty gruesome. Holy shit. The use of black and white really fits in with the story, with the tone of those scenes. Because it's very dark, depressing, but also really intense and it's just unsettling at times. With color, there's no denying that, but it is a bit more lighter. With the color though, it's a little bit lighter because there's not a lot of violence going on. If there's anything you really hear, it's a lot of language and shit, just a lot of arguments, but really black and white's where you really see the true colors of the neo-Nazi group with all this incredibly crazy chaos and all this racism, slangs, and cursing. There's no denying that Edward Norton just loves to swear, especially if you've ever seen films like this especially. This is where I think he really just kicks off on the swearing. But also Fight Club. He loves to curse. Yeah. Edward Furlong, I think what he really does is character, he's a character who's a lot more mature, but also he's very damaged, and he was so disturbingly influenced by it, and his brother was such a disturbing inspiration for him, for this neo-Nazi influence. It's just really shocking what he's doing. And knowing fact, one thing I just truly love about this movie, this is the number one thing I think people really talk about this movie, and that is Edward Norton's performance. This is his greatest performance of his entire career, and knowing the fact that he lost it to Roberto Benigni, especially due to this controversy between him and Tony Kaye, the director, really pisses me off, because Roberto Benigni, he won for Life is Beautiful. I don't feel like he deserved it. I mean, no denying it's a great film, but the thing is, he didn't really deserve the award, mostly because he really just... with Roberto Benigni, with Life is Beautiful, he offered up a lot of comedy, and he was entertaining, but also he did have that serious side to him. But he didn't make a character that truly impacted me in a way that didn't really stick with me like Norton's character. Norton's character truly shocks the hell out of me, and that's who I think really did stay with me. This guy didn't really. It was kind of a little sad. He's an entertaining character, and that performance was good, but to be honest, giving him the Oscar was a dumb idea. One of the worst ideas. It was a major snub. Everyone can agree with that. Norton is fantastic. This really is amazing. Knowing the fact that he's this guy who's just so in the black and white scenes, his pre-prison, before being imprisoned, you see him as this guy who's just so vulgar and racist, and he just is unrelenting whenever it comes to speech and violence. He just truly is an asshole, and you really don't, and you hate him. But after he's released from prison, and of course you see the color, you see that this guy is damaged. And when you see those prison scenes, you really do feel for this character. It's really shocking. Because the only fact that he goes through, the image he presents, but also the events that make him realize what he has done is completely wrong, realizing that neo-Nazism is not what he should be, was a mistake that he made, that he never should have made. It just truly does affect him. And it really just it also shows later on how he just gets affected by people. What I mean is there's some good storytelling here. Especially how it details his life in prison, and also just holy shit. This really is told within the course of if you're counting the present day as an actual events, because those are really kind of flashbacks in prison and shit. This takes place in the course of one entire day, and it's really just holy shit. There's a lot of shit happens, and you learn a lot about this character one day, what's changed him. you realize you really feel for him, like after he was from prison, because this thing really traumatized him, and he realized what he did was wrong, and he realized that he changed, that he put his friends and his family on the wrong path, and he put them in danger. I mean, knowing the fact that there's a possibility that they could be killed, knowing the fact that there's mass racism going on, and that they're just not really safe in his neighborhood, it's just not really a thing. It's just really shocking. In fact, the image they're presenting is just incredibly negative and is against blacks just being in the neighborhood. That's not exactly an image that you really want to propose. Shit. This movie isn't even close to glorifying neo-Nazism. That is one of the worst ideas. So I would have hated this movie because, I mean, if you're going to glorify it, that is one of the worst ideas ever. Even if you made it like darkly comic or something, it still will be satirical. Still, I would have hated it because you're glorifying something that would never be supported by anybody except maybe never mind, I'm not going to say anything more. It would never be supported. People would probably kill you because you're part of that group. You're a hate group. And you do awful things against another race with thinking that, oh, you think this race is superior or something like that. Or maybe you feel like there's just too many blacks here, get them the hell out. They don't deserve to be part of this neighborhood or whatever. No. Seeing Edward Norton's journey from this neo-Nazi to this sympathetic character who's understood what his wrongs and is trying to fix them, and also trying to correct all the mistakes he made in his life and how it's affected his family and all that. It's one hell of a journey that's nothing short from engaging. It really, you're looking at the screen and you're never taking your eyes off it. You're always watching from beginning to end. You just want to see where it's going. Shit. Not even close propaganda. This is really against it, and that's a good thing. So I mean, no. The ending. I swear, some people say the most surprising thing about this movie has to be the ending, and I'm not going to tell you it. I really want you to come into some of this with an open mind, and really, it's just truly unbelievable. It's one unbelievable thing I never expected. I didn't even see any Watch Mojo videos for this. Now, I'm not saying anything like that. Don't look it up, guys. This ending was really surprising me because I never knew anything about it, and it's a thank God I did, because holy shit. That's what I'm saying. That scene also really does define that thing actually says something, such as the dangers of such as the dangers of racism in a community, people who abuse their authority too much and take it too far, and also people who don't, and also it's kind of a thing that also comments on superiority, such as the dangers of being trying to be some sort of dictator, trying to be the best, or you're really trying to be some sort of a badass punk or whatever. That really showcases the consequences of it, and it's just truly heartbreaking to see the ending take place. It just truly, that thing really stuck with me, and really, it's just, that scene has a lot, seriously, there's a lot you can analyze just from that one scene, just from the ending. It's shocking yet fitting to the message of this movie, such as you can't get involved in neo-Nazism. Don't go on that path, because you're going to go on a path that's going to get you into trouble, and you're never going to return from it. You're going to get yourself into issues. You're facing the possibility of possibly dying, being hated, but you could probably die. And if I'm giving away something, I'm sorry, but I really want you guys, I really want you to come with an open mind. Just really, I didn't tell you the real ending, but the fact I may have given something away like that, but the ending was completely different from what I expected, and it fit well. That's major credit to this. It's also kind of some sort of coming of age film. I mean, not exactly coming of age film, well, something like that in a way. Because I mean, this guy is a young kid. Danny is a young kid, and he's just part of the neo-Nazi group that his brother has been affiliated with for such a long time, and it's just been really part of his life. Because I mean, his brother's been doing it for so damn long, and it really became a thing 3 years before he went to prison. Before he went to prison for 3 years, I believe, and that's really shocking. It's also one hell of a character study. It's a compelling character study involving, like, Norton's deterioration and this journey he goes through from being this neo-Nazi to this guy trying to fix what he did wrong. It's truly, it's like watching an accident. It's awful, but you can't look away. It's really heartbreaking in his journey, and also he's facing risks and dangers along the way. And it's just, it's tragic what he's going through, but you just can't look away. You're always engaged. And that's really something I think Tony Kaye did really well, and I thought Dave McKenna did well too. Because, with Tony Kaye, he offered this unique look at neo-Nazism, how it affects the community, but also the consequences of going on this path, and of course, the dangers of trying to leave that past behind you and try to find your own way out of it. David McKenna explores it with a lot of depth, especially in the characters. There are some entertaining moments, but overall, it's a very, very dark, compelling movie, and I recommend you guys see it. It's one hell of a character study, and it's my favorite film from Ed Norton. It's his best film. Well, not actually. My favorite actually is Fight Club, but this is one of my favorite performances from him. Edward Norton. It's my favorite performance. Edward Norton is fantastic in this movie. He truly deserved to win that Oscar, and I really wish he will one day. I really wish he would have won, because screw the politics and the controversy that cost him this. It's not fair. He deserved it because, he created one hell of a character that at first you don't like him when you first know about him, but as the movie goes on and you see his progression, you start to sympathize with him and you understand him as a character, and you actually understand, you feel for him. Because because he does something that makes you like him. I love this movie. It's truly one that really impacted me. The ending especially shocked the hell out of me. But there's no denying that this really is a masterpiece, I guess you could say. Norton is amazing in this movie. Edward Furlong is fantastic. The story is very dark and compelling, but also it has a message that sticks with you. The ending sticks with you, and seriously, experiencing it without knowing anything about it, I think will really work for you, because then you'll get the real impact. And you guys, if you spoil this in the comments, I'm gonna block comments probably. I might just start blocking comments or something like that. Because if you're gonna spoil it and be funny, don't. Because if you're gonna give away the ending, you're just gonna. It just ruins it. Not knowing the ending was really the best way for me to experience it. That was the best way to experience the movie and understand, and really just truly appreciate it for what it is. Sure, if you knew when you came into the mind, you might find some appreciation in it, but there's not much of a surprise there. It really was an ending that really stuck with me. People who comment in the comment section, don't spoil the ending, please. I really want people to experience this film without knowing it. And don't look it up. And people who are going to watch this, don't look it up. Don't. I really recommend you guys see this movie. It's truly one hell of a film, and it's probably something different than you usually see today. And I think you might find something to like in it. American History X. 5 out of 5. It's truly one of my favorite movies of all time. It's really heartbreaking. It's very thought-provoking. It's a great compelling character study. Edward Norton's best performance, Edward Furlong's best, and overall it's one hell of an experience. It actually is an experience. I actually will consider it an experience. Anyways, guys, that's my review for American History X. Comment below. What'd you think about it? What's your favorite Ed Norton performance? Hey, maybe if you don't like this, you might actually like, I don't know, the narrator of Fight Club. Did the ending shock you? What's your favorite Ed Norton movie? Fight Club. And what's your favorite Edward Furlong movie? Okay, he hasn't started a lot of it. What's your favorite performance from him? Really, these are the two. Really, T2 and this are really ones that I really credit him for. Although I haven't seen all of his films. I don't know. Seriously, that ending shock you? Just answer it. Do not say anything about it. Just say yes or no. Straightforward like that. Don't say anything else. Please. Comment below and subscribe to my channel for more videos.